Well, hello again, and welcome to Music is Medicine Monday. My name is Amy Thiessen of In Resonance Coaching. This is my pug Molly, and we're here every week talking about voice, communication, expression, and of course, sharing some music. Now, I got some pretty huge news for you guys. This week, I get to join the Embodied Yoga Summit, which includes some of the most influential speakers and teachers of my life. Janet Stone, Sienna Sherman, Stephen Porges, Bonnie Baybridge Cohen, just a few of them. It is incredible, and I'm going to talk more about it in a few moments. If you want to join, it's free. You can click the link below, but I'll talk more about it in a few moments. Before I get into everything I want to talk about today, I want to share a song that I wrote just for today, and it's brand new, so please bear with me if things get a little bit messed up. But I think it's just a really great way to start what I want to talk about today. So it is called Let Love Guide Us. I hear you, sister, when you tell me it's been hard, trying to keep it together when the world feels like it's tearing apart. It's alright. If it gets too heavy, it's okay to cry. Love is like water, let it carry you on the tide. And I see you, brother, keeping your head high, disconnected from everything that's been welling up inside. It's alright. If you're feeling angry or even terrified, love is like water, let it carry you on the tide. Let love guide us through the waves inside. Let love guide us home. Let love guide us through the waves inside. Let love guide us home. To a tender heart. To the mothers and fathers we haven't seen, the bent up confusion, the unjust blood left on the streets. It's alright. Pain and rage, fear and doubt, all are justified. But love is like water, let it carry you on the tide. waves inside. Let love guide us all. You can sing with me. Let love guide us through the waves inside. Let love guide us all. Let love guide us through the waves inside. Let love guide us all to a tender heart, a tender heart. Let love guide us through the waves inside. Let love guide us all. Let love guide us through the waves inside. Let love guide us all. Yeah. Okay. I want to jump right into actually the theme and the blog this week. I'm going to talk about the Embodied Yoga Summit. I'm going to talk about the workshop that I'm running on May 6th, which is also the kickoff to the Embodied Voice program. So I'll talk about all of that once I'm done. But I want to jump right into the blog this week, which is 3 surprising and unexpected ways to clear our heart and our mind. Okay, that song, when I'm singing about pain and rage and anger and fury, these are beautiful human emotions when they are respected and approached well. And I can't tell you how often in my own life or with clients, there's this idea of like, I should be compassionate, I should be kind, I should be okay with it. And then this irritability or this anxiety or this passive aggressiveness it keeps hanging around, it keeps hanging around, it keeps hanging around. And often the reason for that is because we're not actually ready to be compassionate, because we're trying to skip over what we're feeling and jump to a different feeling. But compassion, the power of compassion is in being with the truth of what is and the reality of what is, yeah. So I'll kind of kick it into a story, because that's how it starts. And the other day, I was going to write my paper, and I'm still in a course in university. I'm just taking courses as I go along. And I couldn't focus. Like, I was super bitchy, super irritable, super frustrated. And no matter what I did, okay, just take a deep breath. You know, it helped for a sec, but then it would come back up. And I found myself obsessively, like, you know, on my phone and doing other things and getting more irritable and more irritable as time goes on. And fortunately, I know well enough kind of how to deal with this. So what I did is I first let myself hear the voices in my head, and they were not nice. You know, my voice was saying, like, people don't even like you. Why do you think you've been doing this? You're an embarrassment. It's a very mean voice. And what happens for, I think, a lot of us, and I used to do this a lot, was we try and push away the negative voice. But I actually now like to integrate it. Okay, so this is one of the ways that I describe in the blog is be scared. Let yourself be totally scared. And so when I heard the voice saying this, you know, you're an embarrassment, nobody likes you, you're a failure. By the way, I don't think that I'm those things. That's not what I'm saying. When that happened, I was like, what am I afraid of? Well, I'm afraid to be an embarrassment. I'm afraid to be a failure. I'm afraid to not be enough. And the second I said that, the irritability dropped. And I was like, I'm scared. I'm just scared. And I can be compassionate to scared. I can be humble and honest and connected to scared. I can own her. And instead of trying to be compassionate, what happened instead was as soon as I knew what was there, I just was compassionate. Because everyone gets scared, everyone gets nervous. So that's one of the techniques I talk about. The second technique, although I actually put it first in the blog, is to get angry. And I mean get angry. How often do we stop ourselves from, I don't want to be judgmental, I don't want to be mean, I don't want to be all of these things. Yeah, we don't want to do that out to the world. You don't want to go and lash out at people. I get that. But healthy anger is freaking empowering. It is like standing in our root and being like, no, I own what I'm feeling. And when we lash it out, we lose it. But when it comes as like a sovereign sense of agency or connecting to a truth, it is insanely powerful. And it's that anger that can actually allow us to move mountains, not out of spite, not out of vengeance, but out of a desire to build something that matters, something that is powerful and beautiful and capable, something important. So if you're feeling agitation or you're feeling anxious, the other thing I should mention is anger, frustration, when we try and compassion around them, I'll just be kind, I'll let it go. They usually fester and they come up as passive aggression. It comes out as irritability. It comes out as anxiety. It can come up as depression. It can even come up as like being exhausted and not being able to kind of get energy going. So what I mean by getting angry is, I mean, step away from people, or you don't want to get angry at them. You can let yourself move, you can let yourself feel it, like, ugh. But then let yourself just say it or write it all out. And I want you to do it in a way that you either hear it or you write it, because if you just think it, it spins. So let like the bitchy voice fly, the most petty, ridiculous, whatever, just let it out and keep going and keep going and keep going. And for me, I journal, right. I'm angry that the dishes weren't put away. I'm angry that, and on and on. And often after you do that, you're gonna hit a point when it's done. And now, one of two things usually happens. One, you might be like, no, I'm angry, I need a boundary there. That isn't okay. But it's not a vengeful, it's just like a no. The other thing that might happen is you're like, oh, shit, I'm really hurt, or I'm really sad, or I'm really tender. Like that really hurt. And now you can be with that, whatever emotion is underneath it, the sadness, the pain, and compassion can come into that, right? And so that tender heart opens and the clarity opens, because the mind and the system is no longer trying to escape or change or transform what is there. Now the third one is going to go on a totally opposite direction. The third one is to get distracted. Now, some of us default to this. We go straight to distraction. I have a tendency to be the digger, ruminator, let's go deeper. That was more my tendency. So I remember when my therapist, I went through a kind of a really, really painful breakup several years ago. And my therapist was like, well, go like distract yourself. And I was like, no, I need to feel this. I need to go through it. I've later learned that, in my studies in psychology and stuff, that like rumination is actually not beneficial. To ruminate the same thing over and over and over again, it isn't really helpful. And cathartic release, as good as it can feel, it can also be like overstretching. It can feel good, but can actually cause more problems than it's worth. So distracting yourself when you're just spinning in it or diving deeper, and doing something else. Do something that makes you laugh. Watch a comedy special. Call me and I'll scratch Molly's butt and she'll spin in a circle and it'll be hilarious. Whatever it is, do something different. And that actually gives your nervous system the time to re-equalize, find its balance, right? Find its equilibrium again. And then as soon as that happens, you actually get your frontal cortex back. You can start to see things with that like intuitive intelligence, not just the instinctual, And that's hugely helpful. And so I give you kind of two sides of the coin, because on one side of the coin, when we want to land in compassion or we want to land in like a clear head, On one side of the coin, we might try and, push it away or kind of scale over it. And on those situations when we can't seem to kind of get through it, then getting angry and understanding our anger, getting scared and understanding our fear, and then meeting what's underneath it is going to be wildly beneficial. But if you're, on the other hand, someone who maybe indulges in emotion and indulges in the spinning, as a folk artist, that was my bread and butter. That was where I wrote from. I try not to do that now. But if that's kind of your tendency, then go do something else. Go help somebody. Go take care of a pet. Go take care of a friend. Go for a walk. Go do something silly and move the energy that way. Yeah. The foundation of the work I do with Embodied Voice, which is the program that's going to be coming up, is really about this: is if we want our voice to convey the strength, to convey the confidence, to create or convey empathy and understanding, the way that we do that is by allowing it into our body and being able to hold it. And I can give you an example of this right away. How often, when you're feeling sad, do you tell yourself, oh, I should just let that go. I should just let it go. You should just let it go. It's not a big deal. Just let it go. And it doesn't work. But if you feel what's underneath it, the sadness or the tenderness, it becomes less of a should and more of a, oh, okay, you can be here. This energy, this emotion, it can be here. I can honor it. And the voice changes. You've probably even heard my voice change. So the Embodied Voice program is a program I'm running at the end of May. It's going for 6 weeks. And it's connecting our voice and our body, embodying voice. It is the foundation to all of the work I do with communication and expression and leadership. It is the foundation. Now, in this program, we are going to focus on sound. Okay? I'm going to use sound to guide you into kind of deeper states in the body. We're going to focus on the voice, on toning, on sounding. We're going to focus on somatic experience, so different techniques to really get into the body. And we're going to talk about devotion and using devotion, things like mantras and singing, to really connect our voice. Now, you don't have to be a good singer. You don't even have to know how to sing. You do have to be willing to sing. But honestly, I don't care if you're tone deaf. I don't care if you've been told you have the worst voice. Actually, if that's true, I want you there even more, because everybody deserves a right to enjoy their voice. Everybody deserves that right. So if you're curious about the Embodied Voice program, it launches at the end of May, last week of May, but you'll want to sign up for the May 6th workshop. The link is below. Sign up. This is going to give you 3 exercises to transform your voice like that day. I promise it will be something you can use again and again. And I will talk about the program. We'll probably sing a song. And if you come, you're going to get a discount on the program. So you want to come, yeah? Cool. Okay, last thing for the day. The Embodied Yoga Summit. Oh my gosh. Okay, so this is 40 facilitators from around the world, some of the most incredible teachers. I'm going to tell you about a few of them. Janet Stone. Now, some of you watching this know Janet. I probably met you through Janet. Janet is one of the most inspiring women I think I probably know in a lot of ways. Her ability to hold space, to intelligently weave yoga philosophy together in a way that is warm and understandable and tangible, and really to cultivate a community of so many amazing people. I've had the privilege of getting to know many of the people in Janet's Sangha in her community, and they're really, really great. So if you are into yoga, she is a master in that field. Sienna Sherman is another yoga teacher who I haven't met personally, but when I was training more in yoga, so years ago when I was a little bit younger in it, I really was in love with her because her storytelling and her sequencing and the way that she brought just, I don't know how to even describe it, just so much fun and joy into the stories and the practice of yoga. So she's amazing. For people who are either in therapy or are therapists or counselors, Stephen Porges, you'll probably know of him. He's a pioneer in the work of regulating the nervous system. He is also presenting. So please, I wouldn't push anything, but if you are interested in this stuff, this is an epic crew of people. I will be presenting with Dr. Scott Lyons. Scott is amazing. He's a psychologist. We are going to be presenting on the Thursday. He's going to be leading some connection, and I'm going to be doing some voice connection work. And then I'm playing for the closing circle or the closing ceremony on the Sunday, and I'm going to do a concert with a loop pedal and everything. So that's awesome, but I will be there during the weekend online because it is a stellar crew. Okay, so I think that's everything for today. I'm just doing one song because I just wrote it, and honestly, that was a lot to write and put together. I look forward to it kind of landing a little bit deeper. You guys are awesome. I adore you. Whatever you're feeling, if you're feeling angry right now, if you're feeling sad, if you're confused, if you're over it, if I could encourage you to anything, I just want you to know that that's okay and that's fair. And your feelings and your emotions and your experience, they matter. And underneath it is the connection again. We're still here. We're still here, even if we can't see each other. Okay, I love you so much. I love this work, and I am so grateful to be here every week. Have the most wonderful week. I will be here again next week, and I'm sure you're going to see some advertisements and stuff coming up over the next week or two as well for all of those things I've chatted about. Have a great day. Have a great week.